This exercise is the dumbbell overhead extension. Primary muscle group work, again, will be the triceps. Secondary would be a little bit of your shoulders, and you may feel some stress in your core, your abs, and your lower back. Okay, let's get started. So the first demonstration we're going to show is actually a one-arm dumbbell extension. And you can do this with both arms. The benefit of doing this with one arm is you're able to work on each arm isolaterally, and it also allows you to have a more fuller range of motion. So let's go ahead and do this. And you'll notice how Dan's arms are straight right here. Let me go ahead and show you here. You notice that the arm needs to be straight right here, and so this way he's able to get all the way down and all the way up. This is a very good exercise to really bring out the fullness in your triceps head right here on the bottom. And you'll notice how he reaches far back enough so this way it doesn't hit his head and you get a full range of motion. A lot of guys I found sometimes they're not able to come back enough, and this wouldn't be an exercise to do. So you've got to be able to make sure that you're able to at least get the dumbbell behind your head. And let's go ahead and do it with two arms. So two arms are done just a little bit different. You want to concentrate on pushing upwards. So let's go ahead and start. So when he comes down, he's going to imagine like the ceiling is coming down, and what he's going to do is he's going to push up. A lot of mistakes guys do is they actually push forward instead of pushing upwards. The reason why you want to push up is so this way you can work on your triceps and again take the stress off your elbows. Which is why you also notice that his elbows are flared out. A lot of times guys will go ahead and put their elbows too in, and it stresses their elbows too much. So even though it works on the triceps, you're wear and tearing your joints. And let's go ahead and get a view on Dan's grip. So let's come back here so you can really get a close-up on what the grip looks like. So why don't you turn a little bit here, Dan, and let the camera see. The other way here. So the grip here, you want to make sure you're holding it like this, and you want to make sure actually, let's go ahead and do it like this. So imagine as if you're pressing on a ceiling. So the ceiling's flat, you're going to grip flatwards. There you go. So let's come down, now let's go and push up. So this way you can really go ahead and engage on that tricep. A lot of times if you grab the dumbbell with your hand, you're going to realize that the focus is not actually on the triceps anymore, and you're going to end up working a lot of forearm. Okay, that's good, Dan. So let me grab this here for you. So now let me show y'all some of the improper ways to go ahead and do this exercise. One of the improper ways I'm doing this is a lot of times guys will grab the dumbbell entirely, and when they come forward, instead of pushing upwards, they'll go ahead and push forward. So that is usually caused because your natural motion is not to push up, it's actually to push forward. But it doesn't engage on the triceps enough. So you always want to make sure you go like this and make your hand flat as if the ceiling is coming down. Because if the ceiling is coming down, you're not going to try to grab the ceiling, you're just going to make your hand flat and push it up. So this is more of a pushing movement than an actual extension. So again, hands flat, come down. Imagine the ceiling is coming down, and you're going to push it up. So you're pushing up, just like this. This doesn't stretch your elbows much at all, and it's really good to work on your triceps. Versus what people do like this, which now stresses a lot more on your elbows. Another thing you want to notice when you're doing the tricep extension is when you're doing a one arm, a lot of times you'll notice how people's elbows come down like this and they press up like that. So that limits the range of motion. So you really want to make sure that you're able to tuck your arms all the way back and your arms are facing upwards. So this way you get that full range of motion. I find that a lot of people go a little too heavy on this exercise. So make sure when you're doing this exercise and learning for the first time, go a little lighter in the beginning. You'll feel that you're able to get that full range of motion, and eventually your triceps will be strong enough and you'll be able to go up as heavy as you want to and get those reps in. Anything you want to add to this, Dan?
Yeah, So I noticed, especially with the one arm, it's like a lot of core strength.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you'd recommend for guys who haven't really developed that yet, or would you recommend just doing this straight from the start and using that as a way to develop it?
You can do this exercise sitting down, which takes a little bit more stress, takes a little bit less stress off the core. But a lot of times this exercise, if you're feeling it a lot in your core, then it's probably because your core is not strong enough. So you want to make sure that you're always balanced. You don't want to be super strong in your triceps and very weak in your core. So I would say lower the weight until you're able to really handle the weight in your core. But a lot of times it's just because the range of motion of reaching the arm all the way back. So you can always just do it with 2 arms to kind of make it a little more comfortable.
Okay. And one thing I've seen beginners do sometimes is they'll go down really fast and kind of slam their spine. Is there something you could recommend to make sure guys don't do that in the beginning?
That's actually a very important point, and it's kind of a safety matter. When you're doing this exercise, a lot of times, like somebody like Dan has a full range of motion, so he's able to really get his arm back. For a lot of people, let me go ahead and show y'all guys. For a lot of people, if they're not able to get their arm as far back, what's going to happen is they're going to get it only up to here, and when they come down, you come down the back of their neck or the top part of their spine. So it's very dangerous because we're not using much weight here, but if you had more weight and you came down on this area here, you're really going to injure yourself. So what you want to do on that is, if you're not able to reach far back enough, you probably don't want to do this exercise until you are able to kind of be a little more flexible. And flexibility sometimes take a little bit of stretching and a little bit of time to develop. There's plenty of other exercises like skull crushers, cable extensions, dips, things like that, to where you don't have to be as flexible and you can still really get a good workout in your triceps.
Great.
Okay, and that's it for this one.